What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thunder Night DFS. I'm going to be doing a quick Draftkings breakdown and sharing all my favorite plays with you guys. Very excited for this week. Basically, dumping my whole Draftkings account onto this card. I'm going to play a lot of entries in the $25, the 100K to first contest, hoping I can get 100K. Just some strategy. If you guys are playing that 100K to first contest, you're going to want to be contrarian. Um, you don't have to play people like Close or like Jody Escabel, like the low owned people. I don't think you have to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the best plays and I'm going to try to leave salary on the table. So I was messing around with the lineups and I was able to make a good lineup, leaving like 1,000 salary on the table, like 800, 500 salary on the table. If you leave salary on the table, it could be just you with that 100K lineup, or you could be sharing it with a couple people. But if the lineup is like 50,000 in salary and it's first place, you're going to be splitting that lineup with hundreds of people there. So be a little contrarian. Maybe play some lower owned plays like probably Kang and Derek Brunson and some of those guys that are going to be lower owned. Yusuf probably a little bit lower owned. If you are playing the 100K contest, and I'm also doing the 20 max as well. And just going to be hopefully a big week because I am putting a lot of money into this card. I like this card a lot. But before we get started the video, if you guys can leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet. Almost at 300 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate getting to 300 by the end of the weekend. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so the first fight of the night, Dobson and Mazo. This is probably the first time in a long time where I'm gonna just probably not gonna play this fight. Yeah, Dobson, man. I think this fight's going to be very close. I think if this fight doesn't finish, I'm happy with fading it. If somebody gets a finish, then it would not be a good idea to fade. I think if anybody's going to get a finish, probably Dobson. She has the more volume and the more power. But I can just see this being an ugly decision, and whoever winning scoring like 60 points. So I'm more so leading to fading this fight, and it is the first fight of the night. So say I'm on Dobson and I play 30% Dobson, and then she loses, 30% of my lineups are gone right there after the first fight on a fight where you really, man, it's not really interesting at all. So more so leading to fade this fight and just hope it does not score high because I do like a lot of other plays in around this range. So might play a little bit of it. I'm still looking into it, but for right now, I'm going to be very low on this fight. Next, you got Kang and Davis here. I think Kang's going to be pretty low owned. I think he's going to be the odd man out. You got Yusuf up there, and right below him you have Chalk Heinisch, and then you have Chalk Sandhagen. So I think Kang's going to be kind of the odd man out. So I think if you want to get a little contrarian, you can place Kang instead of like Heinisch or Sandhagen. And I do think he has submission upside. Brandon Davis has pretty poor takedown defense, like 53%, and I think he can possibly get a submission if he does take him down. Brandon Davis has bad submission defense as well, and Kang is really good with his submission. So the only thing that worries me is Kang has like 3 takedowns in his last 5 fights, but if he wants to win this fight, he needs to get takedowns. And on the other side of it, Brandon Davis, I will be playing some of him as well. If he keeps it standing and if he stops those takedowns, he can very well win this fight. I think he can win a decision or even possibly get a knockout. So I am going to be playing both sides of this fight. I think Davis and Kang are both going to be low owned, but I am picking Kang to win. I do think he can get a submission, but if Davis does stop those takedowns, then for sure he has a great chance of winning. Cyphers and Escabel, not really interested in this fight. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are gonna, not a lot of people, but some people are gonna try to take a punt on Escabel. I don't really like that. She's just not very good. She's like 0-3 or 0-4 in the UFC. If I was to play anybody in this fight, it would probably be Hannah Cyphers. I think she has power. I think there is knockout upside, and Jody Escabel is very bad. But all around, I think this fight's going to be close. I'm probably not going to have much of it at all. I'm not going to fade it, but maybe play a few Cyphers and maybe 1 or 2 Escabels if I'm doing a 20 max. But I can see Cyphers winning a decision here, scoring like 70 points. So if she does want to pay off that value, she needs a knockout, which is possible, and she will be low owned. But I'm not really interested in this fight at all. All right, man, we're out of order. All right, let's go to Bermudez and Casey Kenny. I like Bermudez a lot. It seems like a lot of people are with me on this. I think I just don't see how he's going to lose. I think there's a lot of recency bias going around with Casey Kenny beating Ray Borg, and Ray Borg came in like 5 pounds overweight, so we don't know how motivated Ray Borg was in that fight. It wasn't the Ray Borg we all know. It definitely did not look like himself. But I think there's recency bias. I think that's why this line is so close. I think Bermudez should be more so towards a minus 200 favorite, minus 190. So I like Bermudez a lot. He's one of my most confident plays. Going to be probably over 50% on him. I think there's submission upside. If he gets this on the ground, he's going to get a submission most likely. Borg is able to take down Kenny like 3-4 times. So if Borg can take him down, I think Bermudez can as well. And people are saying if this stays on the feet, Kenny's going to win, and I disagree. I think it's a lot closer on the feet than people are saying. Kenny did have success against Borg on the feet, but like I said, Borg did take him down 3-4 times, and if Bermudez gets him down, he's going to be in trouble. So I like Bermudez quite a bit. He's one of my core plays, and as for Kenny, I'm not going to be playing much of him because I am very confident in Bermudez. And then next we got Giagos and Close. Not going to be playing any close at all. I'm going to fade him. He just did not score high on DraftKings. He scored 59 in a win, 63 in a win, 33 in a loss, and 68 in a win, 74 in a win. So he just does not score very high. So I'm going to fade Close. I already decided that. And as for Giagos, I think this fight's going to be close. All closest fights do go to decision. And all his fights are very close. So I think Giagos is a decent play at 7,200. I think he can maybe squeak out a split decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish, so I'm not going to be too high on this fight overall. But if I'm going to play anybody, it's going to be Giagos. Smith and Worthy. Worthy is like 14-6 in his 6 losses. He's been finishing all his 6 losses. So Smith's a finisher. He's 9,500. I'm going to try to get as much Smith in my lineups as I can. And I was working on lineups last night, and I was able to get a bunch of Smith because of all the underdogs I like on this card. So I do like Smith. I'm going to try to get him in as much lineups as I can. He's going to be the most likely the highest scorer, if not. He's going to definitely be a top 3 scorer on the whole slate. It's definitely the safest play. He's like a minus 800 favorite. I like Smith a lot. And as for Worthy, I'm fading him completely. Brunson and Heinisch. I actually like Brunson a lot in this fight. I think people are sleeping on him, and I think that's a big mistake. I can see why they're picking Heinisch. He has more heart. He's tough. He's tougher than Brunson. He is going to come with a pace and pressure, but Brunson hasn't been fighting guys that are really going to stand and bang with him. And people forget that Brunson had like 5 first-round knockouts in a row. So I do like Brunson. I think he's going to get a knockout. Brunson is actually training at Hard Knocks 365, and we all know how good that camp is. So he's definitely a step up in camp there. So I think he's going to come more prepared. I think he's going to possibly get a knockout here. He can even use his wrestling, maybe get a decision. But yeah, I like Brunson quite a bit. As for Heinisch, he just does not score high, so he's going to be chalk. He scored 70 points in a win, and he scored 76 points in a win. He just does not score high, and he's going to be chalk. He's going to be like 30, probably 35 to 40%. Everybody's on him this week. I'm not going to fade Heinisch because I do think there is a possible knockout upside. Because Brunson is a little bit chinny, but Heinisch doesn't really have power. So you know what? I like Brunson quite a bit. I'm going to have a good amount of him. If he screws me, he screws me. But I just have a very, very good feeling that Brunson's going to win. And a lot of people are going to lose their money that bet on him because I was going to bet on Heinisch, and the more I looked into it, I think this is a great spot for Brunson. Brunson has fought the way better competition. You look at some of the guys Brunson's lost to. Man, way better competition than Heinisch. So I think Heinisch has taken a big step up. I think he's going to get knocked out. But yeah, I'm going to play both sides of it just in case. But I will be heavier on Brunson. And for 8,800 for Heinisch, I don't know if he's going to pay that off, man. So I do like the Brunson is the play here for me, but I'm going to be playing both sides. Benitez and Yusuf, seeing a couple people on Benitez is like a pump play. I don't really agree with that. I think Yusuf's going to be a low-owned play. He's like 9,300. He's a finisher. I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. We have seen Benitez hurt before. He did go to decision with Moraes, but Moraes is pretty tough. So I think he could get a finish here. I think it's going to be a little bit low-owned because everybody's going to go up to Smith or everybody's going to be on Heinisch, Sandhagen. But I do like Yusuf here as like a sneaky GPP play at 9,300, and I wouldn't mind putting like Smith and Yusuf in the same lineup. I think that would be pretty contrarian, and then mix it with some of the underdogs I like, because I do like quite a bit of underdogs on this card. And as for Benitez, maybe one or two, because he does have a knockout chance, but I do like Yusuf quite a bit. And then we got Sandhagen and Sunsao. That's probably my most confident pick on the card, besides like Smith and Yusuf. But I like Sandhagen a lot. He just scores very well. He scored 100 points in a decision win. He scored 120, 109, 133. Sunsao just does not bring volume, so I'm probably going to fade on Sunsao. I think Sandhagen's going to win a volume-based decision, or even possibly going to knock out. Only thing we got to worry about is Sandhagen defending takedowns. He's like a 20% takedown defense. But I like Sandhagen to win. Very confident in that. One of my core plays for sure. Let's see what else. Okay, we got Diaz and Pettis. I'm actually really high on Nate Diaz in this spot. I've seen a lot of people talking about Anthony Pettis is going to get Diaz with the leg kicks. That might be true, but I think Diaz has like a bunch of time to think about these leg kicks. If we all know about the leg kicks, I'm pretty sure he knows about it, so I think he's going to try to do something about it. And I think Diaz is going to win a volume-based decision. If he can just pressure Pettis does not deal with pressure, and also Pettis does not score well in DraftKings besides his last fight with the Superman punch off the cage, which I think was pretty lucky because he was getting beat all fight. But before that, he scored 75 points in a win, 90 points in a win, 103 points in a win, and then all the rest are losses there. So I think Diaz is getting a little bit disrespected in the spot. I think the line is so close because he is taking that big layoff. And I do like Diaz quite a bit. I like him for 7,900. And Diaz scores very well on DraftKings. He scores 88 points in a loss, 117 in a win, 107 in a win, 107 in a win, 106 in a win, 149 in a win, and 121 in a win. So this dude scores high. I think he's going to be pretty popular because he is Nate Diaz. But I'm going to eat the chalk here. I'm going to play a good amount of Diaz. And as for Pettis, probably going to play very little of him. Costa and Romero. Going to be playing both sides of this fight. Somebody's getting knocked out. I like Costa as the underdog play, and I also don't mind Romero as a play there. But Romero does not actually score too high on DraftKings. 91 in a loss. Man, that's crazy. 78 in a win. 74 in a win. All his knockouts seem to be coming from like the third round. So I like Costa quite a bit. Going to be probably overweight on the field on him. And as for Romero, I'm going to be playing both sides. Probably going to be 100% exposure to this fight because I do think someone's getting knocked out. And then the final fight, the main event, Cormier versus Miocic. I'm going to be playing both sides of this with a lean on Cormier. I think he's the better fighter all around. He can use his wrestling, tire Stipe out here. If this does get past the second round, I'll have all the confidence in the world that Cormier is going to win. I'm just worried about those first two rounds with Stipe because he does have insane power, and I do think he could knock out Cormier. But I like Cormier a lot. I put a bet on him. I think he's going to win, but I'll also save my butt and put some ownership for me on Stipe here. And probably going to go 60-40 Cormier-Miocic, maybe 65-35, something like that. But I'm definitely not going to go all in on this fight because it is heavyweight and anything can happen. And Stipe looks pretty big and Cormier looks pretty small. So I don't know if that's going to have an effect on the fight. But I do like Cormier to win, and I'm going to play both sides just in case. And that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, you want to talk strategy, you want to talk plays, comment below. You can also follow me on Twitter, @net_DFS. Shoot me a DM. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you haven't yet. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers. I think I'm at like 288, so I'd really appreciate getting to 300. That'd be pretty awesome. And yeah, that's about it. And very excited for this week. Put a lot of money in so far. I emptied my betting account onto this card, and I'm going to empty my DraftKings account in a little bit. I already maxed out the 20 max, and then put all my single entries in, reserved all those, and then I put a couple in the $25 100K to first, and I'm going to be putting a couple more in there later in the week, and when I figure out the lamps I want to put in there. And that's about it, guys, and good luck.